today, Dave? Well, we're at Blithfield Reservoir in the county of Staffordshire, in central England, in Great Britain, and only a relative handful of people have activated this one before, so I thought I'd have a go, and I'd bring the DX Commander Explore that I've never used in anger before outside of the garden, and this is my sort of mini review at the same time. So hang in there. The audio isn't quite as good because I took the wrong mic, but the content is fab. Thank you very much.
A very good morning from Blithfield Reservoir, another UK POTA site. So here I am on a quiet car park just at the bottom of what's called Admerston Bank. Just behind me is the town of Rugeley, up ahead Stafford in that direction, Uttoxeter over in that direction, which I'll show in a second is the other side of the reservoir. And this is the place that feeds with water or quenches the thirst of people like me at home. It was also on a BBC Panorama documentary recently because allegedly their systems were hacked and the hackers threatened to alter the balance of chemicals in the water and therefore poison us. Anyway, that was all averted, thank goodness. And it's a rather lovely spot. So what I'll do is crack on and do what I should be doing, which is activating a boat. So of this location, because we are after all activating a sort of park. Really to get in here, as you can see, it's all admit this thing. It's only really the car park, you have legit access. I found out via the water company, you can get a day pass for £80 if you want to fish, like these people, or you can pay £600 a year. And then apparently you can drive all the way around and get in a boat. You're allowed to eat two and you have to put the rest back to take it the trout. So there's some young people who've come up here and made this smell like the Caribbean in the 1980s, let's say. Anyway, or Birmingham on most days. So this is really the car park. If you type in Blithfield, B-L-I rather than B-L-Y, which I did, I should know better, that brings you this car park. That's Rugeley that direction, that's Stafford that direction, and that is Uttoxeter in that direction, or roughly, Abbott's Bromley as well. They will bring you in to here. It's very easy, just type it into your Google Maps or Waze or whatever you use, and it does show you how to get here. And that's it. And I found this nice little spot that's very well worn down. Durex on it, so let's say nighttime activities. There's quite often in Great Britain, like I mentioned, it really ought to be called dogging sites on the air. But anyway, this is it. All works very nicely here. Lovely location, lovely day. You can see the water's down on the reservoir, and thankfully for these good people, it's capturing enough water to keep us going without a water shortage at the moment. So as well as being a POTA, I'll put the references up here, as well as being a POTA site, it's also on the Staffordshire Way, I would argue, and the Staffordshire Way is 90 odd miles long, which I don't think is a park. Don't know what you think, please comments below, but I don't think it is. So I reckon this is a two-effer. This is Blithfield Reservoir and the Staffordshire Way. Anyway, that's what we'll do. And there's an even better car park for activating down just across the road. I'll just do some footage of it in a sec. But that place, I could get my antenna up way better. There is the way better car park. That land goes right down to the water for the fishermen. It's an angler's entrance, which seems a bit ridiculously good to me. Looks like they've got a padlock on there. No doubt you get the key with your membership. I chucked in almost the kitchen sink in the van today. Pelly case, DX Commander, which I'm putting up. My Decathlon foldable table, all the DX Commander accessories. One of those, you can see, you're not going to do a SOTA with this, are you? Anyway, cable and loads of radials knocking around. Right, setting up the DX Commander. You can see some things I've done here, which I can't get. These two brackets, let's call them. So that's the driven element, and that's the outer for the radials. I can't get these to sit still. So I've put little zip ties on to keep them in place, and then you can see when you're activating with this very long pole that we're going to put everything on, it goes off for some distance. So the pelly case is there helping me out with this. I've got to put the clamps on now. Yes. So this takes time. So what we're hoping for is a balance between takes longer to get up, but at the same time, what it does is it works more effectively. That's what we're hoping for. You've probably seen my video short about this. I've put numbers on these clamps by passing them over. A viewer gave me a good tip by putting shrink wrap over the top. Anyway, being a cyclist, I know if I use carbon fibre, I know this is fiberglass, but I know I don't tighten anything over 5 metres, and we have stuff to do that. What I don't like about doing this, and this is my paranoia for being a cyclist for many, many years, is over tightening stuff like this. And it would be good to have, from manufacturers, proper screws with a Newton meter guidance so we can use the appropriate tools. Okay, DX Commander is up. Guy ropes, which my wife says about guy ropes and radials, and I tend to agree. Why are we playing toy soldiers? Why don't we just have them yellow that stand out? Anyway, we've got guy ropes on, and we've got the DX Commander right up there. Whoa, he says falling backwards. Let's do that again. There's the DX Commander, right up there, with a bit of a droop on. I think some of these people who park here in the evenings don't have that droop. But anyway, that's another subject. Evidence is on the ground if you want to know. All these bloody places. It's like dogging sites on the air in Great Britain. But anyway, we're here in the day, so that's good. So we go back to the van. So in this searing heat, wait for the motorbike to go past. So in the searing heat, it's taken me 40 minutes to set this up. Now, if I'd been using something else, positive V antenna, which you've seen plenty of videos by me about, on a tripod, which the tripod's just behind there, it would have taken, honestly, 10 minutes to set up, tuned, ready to go. So it's taken me 40 minutes. So let's hope this is worth it. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. This is Golf 0 Oscar Echo Sierra. Golf 0 Oscar Echo Sierra, calling CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. This is Golf 0 Oscar Echo Sugar. George 0 Oscar Echo Sierra Portable, calling CQ Parks on the air. QRZ.
You will have seen other POTA, SOTA and other type of get your radio out and go out in the wilds with the bears, the bees and the whatever else, and to use. It's absolutely great. It's a pleasure to use it. But you can see 10 QSOs in 11 minutes 42 seconds was achieved on SSB, running about 85 watts into the DX Commander. So that was rather good and very enjoyable. I say this app just makes life easier as long as you've got a mobile signal. And we ended up with 19 QSOs in 25 minutes 24 seconds, which was rather splendid, really.
Well, here I am in front of the DX Commander. I've just done 19 QSOs pretty quickly at a clip. So it took me ages to set up, but once set up, getting great comments, and people were really interested to know I was using a DX Commander as well. Good thing about round here, even though you've got the conurbations around here, as I said before, Rugeley, Stafford and Uttoxeter, there's nothing industrial around here. I know there's the waterworks, but it's a fair distance off. So around here, it's really good for not getting QRM, I've discovered. 40 metres isn't so amazing, but 20 metres has been absolutely spot on. And people obviously, as I've probably mentioned, have commented on the marvellous signal from the DX Commander, which is good to hear, right? So it takes a long time, 40 minutes to set up, but once you've got it set up, it's all pretty good at a clip. So I've done that 19 QSOs. Am I going to take it down yet? Well, after all that effort, no. I've sort of exhausted my want to be on SSB, and I'm just going to do a little bit of FT8. It says straightening out a radial there. Going to do a little bit of FT8 or FT4 more accurately to finish off, and that's two different methods of modulation, let's call it. I will have done, and then I'll be off and rocking. So let's see how I get on with it. Reflections on this activation, first time ever with the DX Commander. Explore using it in earnest on an activation. When I tuned it at home, honestly, all the SWRs were near 1-to-1. However, 17 metres is gone out like crazy out, and 15 metres is 2.2-to-1, which isn't good enough. 40 and 20 are great, right? So it's 18 and 15 are out, so I just need to sort that, and then we'll be as good as gold again. So it's a bit of working in the garden, driving my wife mad. But otherwise, DX Commanders work well. Signals that are close to, well, I say Europe, aren't as good, the signal reports, and this is both using SSB and FT4 and FT8, they aren't as good as what with other antennas that have a higher angle of radiation, you know, the common ones we all see in terms of a coil at the bottom, that type of thing. However, DX, stateside and places like that, really good, actually very, very impressive. So yeah, it takes longer to set up, it takes longer to take down, believe me, but once it's operating, and I've got the SWR right, God knows what's going on there, but anyway, Once you've got that right, it's great for flicking bands, not having to use an ATU, not having to get up and get your VNA out and do all that sort of stuff. It's great for that. Otherwise, every day's like a hobby day. Enjoy 73s.